Happy Marketing Monday, everyone. It is that time of the week again where Kid Glove gives you the marketing advice that you're seeking. Kid Glove is a boutique advertising agency with offices in Lincoln and Omaha, Nebraska, and we focus on working with change makers. So we pride ourselves on giving the megaphone and helping share the message of those who are making the biggest difference in the world. My name is Catherine Warren. I am Chief Operating Officer at Kid Glove, and I specialize in our community health sector. So working with public and behavioral health organizations to help spread all the important work and information that you have. Today, we're going to continue on a topic that I talked about last time I was on Marketing Monday, and that is creating an emotional appeal to incite action in your audience. So we work with some heavy stuff in the community health sector. We work with substance abuse, we work with mental health, we work with lots of things that touch lives every day. And an emotional appeal to the public or to your audience is key to getting them to act. So whether you need them to sign up for training, whether you need employees to work for you and to help make a difference, whether you need people to simply get help, creating an emotional appeal is a huge way to get your audience to act. So last time we talked about how internalizing messages sometimes helps you understand the need and how impactful an emotional appeal can be to your audience. Today, we're going to talk about how do you create an emotional appeal? What does that even mean? And the easiest way, I think, to do that is to use the standard traditional run-of-the-mill story arc. So if you're a writer, or even if you can think back to your English classes that you took when you were younger, you probably got introduced to something called the story arc. And the story arc helps us frame an emotional appeal in a way that gives people enough information and enough time to create that emotion that encourages them to act. So that's why I think it's a great piece of the puzzle to look at when you are creating an emotional appeal. So most times, the emotional appeal is going to come in the form of a testimonial from someone who has been impacted by your work or who works in your field. And a lot of times that could be a video testimonial of them telling their story, but it could be an audio testimonial that you're using on a public service announcement on the radio. It could also be a written story that you're using on your website or social media or blog or whatever the case may be. So it's a testimonial of someone who has been impacted by your important work. So what does the story arc do? And I'm going to try to get fancy here and use my screen share. Maybe not, because the screen has completely changed once I went live. So you'll just have to pretend to visualize here the graphic of an arc. So basically, as if you're going up a hill. So we're starting somewhere, we're going up a hill, and then we're coming back down. And each piece of that hill has a different part of the story. And that hill starts on the ground level with something called setup. So the first piece of the story arc is the setup. And that is the person that's giving the testimonial, telling the audience why they're here. Why should you listen to me? And introducing them to the world. Next step on our hill going up is the inciting incident. So what happened to this person that made them want to tell their story? So for example, for community health, perhaps you are looking to encourage parents to talk to their kids about risky behaviors using alcohol. Well, your story could be a parent telling their story of a child who had a negative incident with alcohol and what the outcome of that was. So in this case, the inciting incident would be something that sparked the use or the start of using that alcohol. Then we get into rising action. So things that happen with that youth throughout their time that involved alcohol. Perhaps they, tried it at a party and now they decided they like it and they're trying it more, and maybe they're sneaking liquor from home, whatever the case may be. So that's the rising action. So we have something that started the issue, and now we have the occurrences leading up to what we call the climax of the story. So that's the big hitter, and that big hitter could be a huge success. So maybe it's the child got help and was able to help others in their school or their community that were struggling with alcohol. Or maybe it's rock bottom. Maybe it's the failure in the story. So maybe they got into a car accident or, got in trouble with the law or whatever the case may be. So that's the climax to your story. It can be a success or a failure in our case, right? Both are very emotional and will move people to action. Then we go to the falling action of the story. So you never want to end on the here's what happened, here's the big climax. You need to tell people, you need to wrap it up in a bow for people. So you need to say, okay, this happened, and then this was the fallout of that issue. So maybe it was the child got help and then was able to help others in their community. It could be the child got in trouble with the law and then got into a program with your behavioral health organization that helps them get out of trouble, right? So that's the falling action. And then finally, you want the resolution. So what was the end result of that story? And the key piece to this arc for us marketers is that end result, that resolution, needs to have a call to action. So that's the difference. We need to tell people how this was resolved and how that impacts them in a way that they need to act. So for example, the child got help through one of your programs at your behavioral health organization. Well, the call to action then is, if your child needs help, here's an option. Sign up for this program, sign up for this service that we offer. Or it may just be simple awareness like, hey, talk to your kids about alcohol. If you don't, this story could happen to you. So that is all the key pieces to creating that magical story arc that will create the emotion that you need in your marketing in order to get the public to pay attention, to listen, and to act. If you would like more information on community health marketing, you can visit our website at kidglove.com/community-health. And that's all I have to share with you today. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday and go create some of those emotional appeals. Thank you. Bye-bye.